what do you look for in general when you look at a deer and say, okay, this is what I need to know to go in and potentially kill a certain buck?
Yeah, I think some of that uh, becomes more like common sense and natural after a little while. I think the reason why it's confusing for a lot of people is because they just don't have, again, they don't have the time, and they may not even have the opportunity because the properties that they hunt are small enough, or whatever the case may be, that they just really can't get on one deer and stay on him.
Hmm.
Um, so my situation, I think, allows me to do that a little bit more because I have that time on my side, like we talked. Um, and even over the course of seasons, you learn, you might learn how to kill the deer. It might take you 3 years, in some cases, but
Yeah.
so it's not quite like there's some magic to it. I think everybody can figure it out given the same opportunities that I've had. So the thing is, how do you shorten that learning curve? The keys to it, obviously, you've got to have a buck that's killable, and we can talk about that. And then you just need to learn as much as you can about that deer without him knowing that you're doing it. And there's probably a little bit of an art to that. Like, everybody back in my early days would rely on deer sign, and the deer sign, it's not specific enough. It doesn't tell you um, one deer necessarily, unless there's something very unique about the sign that it leaves. You're having to make too many assumptions. So that really doesn't help all that much, but it does show you how deer move. So
Hmm.
understanding how deer travel through an area, um, you know, maybe 15, 20 years of old school style hunting, you learn that. You learn, well, they use the terrain a certain way. Those are all skills that are important too. But at the end of the day, you just need to learn as much as you can about that one individual deer, and trail cameras are the key to that. I mean, sightings from season to season, like you mentioned earlier, they're they're pretty few and far between. Unless you've got a really, really visible buck, um, 90% of what you learn about that deer is going to come from trail camera photos. So you're always trying to figure out, where can I put my cameras in places where I can learn, but going in and checking the cameras, I'm not messing stuff up.
Right.
Some people are going to the cellular cameras now, and so far I've never really, I don't own one.
Really?
No, and
Hmm.
it's not, someday I probably will. I know there's a place for it, but I still like the skill required to be able to check your cameras. It's like part of the hunt. It's like
Yeah.
you have to be able to be sneaky enough to pull off this part of it in order to earn the right to, have that information. You shouldn't just
Hmm.
be able to throw a camera out there and put 20 of them on your farm and be flooded with deer hunting information, or deer movement information. Um, I just feel like that's, it's okay. It's just a little too cheap. The information is a little too cheap for me.
Hmm.
It's like I want to feel like I had more challenge in this whole process. So anyway, uh, it's nothing. There's no right or wrong to it. It's whatever the law says is the law. But I just kind of like checking the cameras. So I like that, figuring out, okay, where are the places where I can put them, where I can sneak in and out, or is it on a kind of a daily travel area for people, like a lane going through the farm that we use quite a bit, just different stuff like that, where you start maybe going a little deeper into how to um, outwit, or at least, um, you know, learn what you can without the deer knowing that you're learning it, I guess. So
Yeah.
I have a little bit different approach to it, like I said, but that's how I do it. I don't run cameras everywhere. I don't want to know every minute by minute behavior of the buck I'm after. I just want to know where he lives, more or less. What are where's his core? And if you find his core, that's where you're going to get a lot of daylight photos. And where's his range? Well, his range is going to be any place you pick up any kind of photos.
Right.
But if I know those things, I can kind of figure out within the what I know about how deer move. I can figure out where to get him.